and welcome to Our House Mondays. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I hope you stayed safe. I hope you've completed your Christmas shopping. Hope the weekend was good. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I hope you earned a lot of money. Fact is that PUA is coming to an end this December. So I think a lot of gig workers are going to be hitting the road again come January. So as you know, I did buy a whole bunch of these books, how to get along with your coworkers, how to improve working relationships. So I sent this to the executives. I kept one myself. The one, Tony Slaughter, first in the house. How are you? So the one topic that I highlighted for these executives that I want them to read is the importance of respect, right? I think that these CEOs take us for granted, right? And I refer them to an article in this book, to their Christmas present, right? Which is called The Importance of Respect. That's sort of like the number one word I hear from a lot of drivers, gig workers, that they don't respect us, right? They know they can replace us with the next. There's like zero respect. Why should I respect them if they don't respect me? They don't respect me by paying me well. They don't treat me well as an essential driver during the pandemic. They don't respect me, right? So the importance of respect. I welcome Chris Yoda, Dan's in the house, Jimmy's in the house, Sir Irwin's in the house, Love and Light is in the house, Teddy T's in the house. Hey, Teddy T, I covered for you when that one guy went ranting and raging against you. I kicked him out. I told him that I won't tolerate that type of language. I think you know who I'm referring to. I just blocked him and kicked him out of my channel. I saw he went off on you, and I just said, listen, we don't tolerate that type of language in this. So bye-bye, goodbye, good riddance. So Dara, Logan Green, Tony Zhu, John Zimmer, all of you executives that I bought this book for, right? I collected a couple of dollars last Monday. A couple of people made contributions, sent them out with a nice little Christmas card. The importance of respect. If everyone at work isn't being treated with respect, it can be bad for business. Dan, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. I really do. And Dan and I are going to do a little one-on-one session this week. I will have some more time this week after Tuesday. It's just been a crazy week. Want to talk about your world, want to talk about electric vehicles. I want to pick your brain because you've got a lot of good feedback for the peeps. And Merry Christmas. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. If everyone at work isn't being treated with respect, Dara, if everyone at work isn't being treated with respect, Logan, addressing them, right? Now hurry, same here. Cool, will do. It can be bad for business. If you do not feel that you're being treated with respect at work, it can be extremely difficult to do the best you can, right? And this is not written in here, but like it's extremely difficult to do the best you can. People sort of adopt an FU attitude. It's like, how can I outdo this company? They don't respect me, so how can I find ways to extract, make more money, go behind their back, right? It's like a vicious collision of two energies when there's no respect, right? The same goes for your coworkers. They may not be able to perform their duties efficiently if and when a disrespectful coworker or manager or executive has compromised their confidence. Mutual respect between workers, or mutual respect between workers and executives, or between workers and management, also helps to foster an atmosphere of cooperation among team members. If you respect the people you work with, it is much easier to work with them to achieve a goal. If you don't have any respect for your coworkers, managers, or executives, or their skills, why would you count on them to help you, right? The best way for a team of employees to build a bond of mutual respect is through training and exercises designed to help everyone to get to know their coworkers and skills. It can be as simple as having each team member share their name and the parts of their work where they feel best. In an environment where disrespectful behavior is common, conflict between you and your co-workers is more likely to break out. But it's important not to let disrespectful behavior affect you and make you act in the same way. It doesn't mean just because these executives at top, Dara, at CEOs, etc., of these different companies disrespect you, doesn't mean that you have to act in the same way. You always act respectful. You always act respectful towards your elderly, towards your parents, towards your managers, to your coworkers. Just because they don't do it doesn't mean that you have to adopt their type of style, right? A conflict at work has a negative impact on both morale and overall productivity. If you feel that a coworker, manager, executive is not treating you with respect, talk to him or her about it, your behavior in a calm and respectful manner. The problem is we can't express that. There are no channels to get to lower management, middle management, higher management executives, right? There's no channels in place for us to have that calm and respectful manner. If you're not willing to discuss it, take the matter to your boss, right? So that was the one little article. Another one I found rather interesting is, where is it? Share the credit. There's one topic in the book that I highlight, that I bring to their attention, to the executive's attention, is share the credit. That's the topic, right? Share the credit. If these essential workers helped get your companies through the pandemic and kept on driving your passengers in the most difficult times, you didn't give them danger pay, you didn't really give them much PPE, right? But your company is now making a lot of money. DoorDash stocks are doing great. Uber stocks are doing great. Instacart just rewarded their people with $50 to $500 Christmas gifts. So they were sharing the credit. They realized they did well because you helped them do well, and they were able to share the credit. Instacart, for example, said they shared $20 million of bonuses with their shoppers, right? Now that is showing credit and respect to your people. I don't see that from the Daras of this world. I don't see that from the Tony Zoos of this world. I don't see that from the John Logans and John Zimmer and Logan Greens of this world. I don't see that type of credit or respect. And remember, if it wasn't for those essential workers that got you through the most difficult times, right, you'd be done. You'd be completely done. But no, the people showed up. They performed these dangerous acts, right, putting themselves in harm's way, and you're not showing the credit, and you're not showing the respect. So this is the reason why I sent this book to these executives, right? Even if they don't even open the book, you know, it's a symbolic message. Somewhere along the lines, the message will get to them. Oh, do you know that one YouTuber, he sent you that book, right? He refers you to 2 topics or a couple of topics in the book. When applicable, sharing credit with your work is a sure sign that you work well with others. Not only that person or individuals like you even more than they did before, you will probably earn a higher level of respect as well. So sharing credit also earns respect, right? On the other hand, if you don't share credit when it's due, listen to this, Dara, listen to this, Tony, listen to this, John Zimmer, Logan Green. On the other hand, if you don't share credit when it's due, you'll earn a reputation as someone who is selfish and wants to sabotage everyone else in an attempt to get ahead. In an attempt to get the company ahead at all costs, you will sabotage everything. I really hope they take a minute or 30 seconds and just read that one line. If you get away with it without anyone complaining, don't waste time celebrating. In reality, the truth usually prevails. So true. In reality, the truth usually prevails, and you are not going to get ahead. You may be in line for the unemployed. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on. You know, just it's a Dan says, "Oh my God, it's that rideshare professor dude who teaches drivers how to make a better life." Listen, not just a better life earnings-wise, right, or achievement-wise, climbing the ladder, but also for you, the individual, right? That life can be improved, self-improved. You, like I always say, you are the most important individual out there, right? And there are so many ways you can improve your life. You can improve your earnings. You can improve respect. We have to work on it. It doesn't just come like that, right? You've got to input equals output, but it can be done. It truly, truly can be done. There's phenomenal books out there, great CDs you can listen to in your downtime, etc. Rashim, I welcome you, Nifty 50. What's up, Teddy T? Am I on my feet yet? I'm without crutches, but really hobbling. And I thought I'd be a couple of steps further. It's just slow, frustrating progress. Muhammad Khalil's in the house. Greetings. Ray C. Branch is in the house. Now, an article that was emailed to me, or a TV appearance of Brian Greening. He said, Torsten, make sure your drivers, when they go out and get, a lot of drivers just have regular insurance. That regular insurance ain't going to cover you when you get into an accident, right? I mean, Lyft, for example, has a $2,500 deductible. Let's say like you have this guy here who had $1,800 in damages. Lyft's not going to help him out. And the problem is they use this guy as an example. He's stuck now because even though he upgraded to rideshare insurance, he failed to tell the insurance agent or the insurance provider that he wanted full coverage ride insurance, right? So it's important that when you go out, you say, listen, I'm not just going to get the regular insurance. I'm going to get rideshare insurance, which is a step up, which is even more expensive, right? You then have to tell your provider you want the full insurance, because this individual failed to tell the rideshare insurance that he wanted full insurance. There were several things they would not pay. Why did they not pay? The insurance provider said they would not pay those damages because he had a rider, because he had a person on board, right? And in our case, that happens a lot, right? You have a person on board, you get a fender bender, whatever the case is. If you had rideshare insurance, you think, well, I'm covered. No, you're not. You are not covered unless you have requested full insurance. And this is what this attorney emailed me, and he said, Torsten, I want to refer you to this video. Just happened to this guy, $1,800 in damages. Lyft driver gets into fender bender, finds his rideshare insurance doesn't cover the damage. I want you to, before Christmas, God forbid, I never want anything to happen to like any of the subscribers, the family members of this channel, our house. We're like a family, right? So let's make sure we're covered. Let's make sure we go back to our insurance and say, okay, what do I have there? Cool, I've got a rideshare insurance. Good, I'm paying more than the regular insurance. But do I have full coverage, right? That's the important link. And that was just a really nice, friendly reminder, and he appears in this TV interview, right, that you need to get rideshare insurance and you need to get full rideshare insurance.
Quite the special rideshare coverage, but Lyft's policy has a $2,500 deductible. $2,500. So they couldn't help him with his $1,800 repair.
He had $1,800
my
repaired.
rideshare insurance that I upgraded is basically just permission to use my vehicle that I own to go and drive for Lyft.
We hate to hear these
That's
stories,
Brian.
but we hear them all the time. Attorney Brian Greening of the Chicago-based firm Legal Rideshare says insurance is the most common topic in his cases. He says some policies only cover certain phases of the job, like when you're looking for a passenger versus when you're actually driving them. To adequately protect yourself, you need to go into your insurance company and say, I want full coverage for rideshare work. Greening says he'd like Uber and Lyft to do a better job explaining insurance nuances to drivers.
There's my good boy.
And Vendegna says founders should have explained.
What logic would make anyone ever think that having a passenger in the vehicle isn't covered, even though I've upgraded rideshare for a rideshare endorsement.
So if we listen to what Brian Greening said, if we listen to what the rider said, the rider's complaining because he thought, hey, he went out and got rideshare insurance. He should be covered. Right now, he's stuck with that $1,800 bill to fix his car, thinking that the insurance provider had him covered because he went out and got rideshare insurance. As Brian Greening, the attorney, said, you want to make sure that you talk to your provider and say, I want full coverage, right? Had he asked for that extra clause, that $1,800 would have been covered. It was not covered because the insurance company looked for an out and said, hang on, you're a rideshare driver. Did you have a passenger on board? Yes, I did. The person was not lying. Sorry, you're not covered. You didn't have full coverage. So Legs says, hey, Prof, did you see the incident in Chicago? Uber driver got robbed. It was a lady. People had guns and took her car. Yeah, I did read that. And my question, were those riders on the platform, or were those people just like regular people on the street? Were those actually riders that got into a car? I wasn't sure about that, if you could clarify that. If it was riders that got into the car, again, it goes back to that same topic we talk about again and again and again, and that is safety, right? We get a full background check. They want to make sure we're not a criminal, that our record is clean as a driver. But hang on one second, what about the people getting into the car? Have they checked that? Have they spent a few dollars maybe running a background check on those individuals that get into our car? How do we know who's getting into our car? How do we know what type of background record or criminal records these individuals have that get into the car? You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Why don't both sides have a quick little background check? It can't be too complicated, cannot be too expensive, right? To run a quick background check on a passenger. Just saying. Tony Slaughter got a test today. Very happy to hear that Paul Figueroa went and got a test the other day and said, hey, Torsten, I'm negative. Super happy. Now, those first vaccines, as we know, they're rolling out. Did you guys see the footage of all those trucks leave Pfizer? They went to 50 different states, big FedEx trucks, big UPS trucks were shipping those ice-cold little containers to the various states. So nurses, hospitals, essential workers will be getting those shots first. Let's see how it plays out, right? I want to see and hear some feedback in the media as far as the after effects. You know, are they okay? Slick Nick, how are you, buddy? I got Slick Nick's email. We'll jump to that. I appreciate that email. Californians got some notifications from Uber. I'll read those out. Make sure you read them. Make sure you understand what's in these new terms and conditions. My guess is that Arizona and all the states got something similar. Make sure you read this, right? And then you have 30 days to opt out. No, COVID doesn't have full coverage. COVID covers 80% if you end up in the hospital, if your car ends up in the body shop, right? 80%. New Zealand Uber Vicky's in the house. Good morning. I hope all is well over in New Zealand. Looks like New Zealand still has the most impressive numbers when it comes to COVID, the least numbers at least, you know. Dan said, I had a gap insurance to replacement cost of a totally new vehicle, had it paid up. Good thing, yeah, that gap insurance, huge. It's not much more. That little thing, that little gap insurance is the difference between getting the full amount and getting a partial amount. Well done on that one. Glad that worked out for you. Nifty 50 says, I'm excited to drive on both platforms after April since 2018. Uber disqualified me for having 2 speeding tickets when I was young and dumb. Cannot believe they looked for 7 years back. I'm only 25. So but you're back on, right? And by the way, if something like that happens, all you do is you go to the clerk of the court and you go to the court where you had those speeding tickets heard. Usually you go before a judge. A judge said, were you speeding? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so you get a little fine, blah, 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 but it's on your record, right? Go back to the clerk of the record and say, driving is your livelihood. You're a limo driver, whatever. I need this job. I need that off my DMV record. Set up a new hearing, right? Get another hearing on that. You want that, get that expunged. You want to get that off your record. Another great way is if you go to a DMV, usually takes you an hour or two, you wait, and then you get to one of those windows. Hey, you see your little number B27, go up to window 14, you go there and you say, excuse me, ma'am, would you be so kind, on my record, I have this and this speeding fines. I'm a driver. I need that expunged off my record. Is there anything I can do? Could I please set up an appointment with your DMV manager? Yes, they have to. By law, they'll put you together with that DMV manager. Now, you might sit aside. They'll say, well, can you wait 5 or 10 minutes? They're very busy. Boom, go stand over there. DMV manager comes up to you and says, hey, what's up? How can I help you? Here's my scenario. I am a driver, or I'm a limo driver. I have this and this speeding record. Can I get it expunged? Is there anything I could do, driving school, blah, 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 to get that off my record? My employer needs it to be off the record in order for me to continue. I've come across a couple of cool managers, and I didn't go there for those type of reasons, speeding tickets, although I have had speeding tickets and I fought them in court successfully, right? But thank you, God, that those speeding ticket records didn't remain on my DMV records, or I wouldn't have been able to get those different certifications, those TCP license, the Uber privileges, the Lyft privileges, right? Got to be pretty squeaky clean. And in his case, he said they went 7 years back. Uber goes, 7 years ago, you had a speeding accident, hence blah, 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 right? Fight in court, fight at the DMV with a manager, get that expunged, get that taken off the record. Sometimes it might cost you $300-$500. Ray says, show me their pictures on the app. You can't see anybody. I just open my door and hope that they're correct. And if not, Uber doesn't care. The Battle of the Survivors, sold by Mike, says, good morning. This is Mike with great car deals. My YouTube name has been changed, as you could see. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. I like your new name. The Battle of Survivors, sold by Mike. I like your new title. Awesome. Congratulations on your new title. And by the way, if you have a YouTube channel, you can switch that out anytime, right? Dan says, Lyft knocked me off almost 2 years ago. Low acceptance rate and 2 false reports from lying customers, documented it. Multiple platforms, as he recommends, essential. Yeah, get on multiple platforms, right? So in case, let's say you're on, I know Wicked One, a friend and subscriber of mine, he's on 8 platforms, right? He makes an average of $200 per platform a week, $1,600, right? Here's the good thing. If you're on 8 platforms and for some reason within that 1 year, bad luck, bad reports, bad feedback you get kicked off onto, still on 6 platforms, right? So now he's going to dedicate his time differently to these 6 platforms versus those 8 platforms, right? But on average on those 8 platforms, he's told me he's making $200 per platform a week, $1,600. 2 go away, 2 fall away, you still have 6, right? And now you still want to obtain those $1,600 weekly income that you used to. Now you divvy the hours between these 6 platforms. Not complicated. And Gridwise, by the way, has an awesome app feature that allows you to put those gig results, those earnings side by side, either on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. That gives you a lot of feedback, a lot of data. How did I do there? How long did I work there? Oh, wow, I worked longer on that platform and made less money than working on the other platform, only putting in 2 hours versus 3 hours. So you get to sort of find out and fine tune it. Where do I work? On what platform? At what times do I work there? Where do I make the most money? Who's running the most bonuses? Who's offering surge? Who's offering incentives? Boom, you bounce around between these platforms. Drivers or delivery drivers are brilliant at this, man. We are so freaking street smart, we figure this shit out right away where we make the most money. Slick Nick says, I'm going for a run to pick up my regular car since I picked up hire car rental this morning and I have an appointment at Lyft Hub for LAX Placard. Good luck with that. And please let me know on your experience with hire car. Now, these are the documents that Uber sent out, California, and I'm sure this is the same for Utah, New Mexico, etc., right? So obviously if you're in California, you're going to get the California laws, California regulatory rules and requirements training, effective December 16th, 2020. So this kicks in 2 days' time. You must comply with California laws. You must comply with Utah laws. You must comply with Arizona laws. You must comply with Texas laws, blah, 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 right? So specifically, they have driver training if you're a TNC or a TCP driver, new training that you have to undergo if you're in California. If this does affect you, if you're a TCP driver, this would affect me. If I want to drive with Uber or Lyft TCP, no, I drive directly with TCP as a private limo driver right now. But if I wanted to jump back on with my TCP privileges back onto Uber and start driving tomorrow, I would have to undergo this training, right? The training program, which includes the safety document below and the required driver training video available here, you got the link, must be reviewed by all TNC and TCP California drivers and delivery people before they can provide trips or deliveries through the Uber platform. So big changes, right? Big changes. Wendell's in the house. Aurora Ramirez is in the house. We welcome you. Uber sends me $2.99 Uber Eats runs. I don't take them usually. Hey, here's the golden rule. We don't haul under 4. At 5, we drive. Under 4, why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my time for $2.99? Disregard. Next. So they requests by the CPUC for information. The CPUC requires us to notify TNC drivers in California that consent is not needed for the disclosure of a TNC driver's information to the CPUC. It's probably a good thing. Self-reporting vehicle mileage. In California, all TNC vehicles must complete a 19-point vehicle inspection every 12 months or 50,000 miles. They talk about the trade dress. They talk about unaccompanied minors in California due to CPUC requirements. TNC drivers cannot transport an unaccompanied minor on trips arranged through the Uber platform. They talk about app-based trips. They talk about service animals. They talk about airports. California airports may have different rules that you must comply with. If you are completing an airport pickup or drop-off for information about airports in your area, please visit this. They talk about non-discrimination, right? They talk about sexual harassment, misconduct. They send you a whole separate document on sexual harassment conduct. You may not stare or leer at a person. You may not ask personal questions. You may not flirt with them. You may not make comments about their appearance. You may not make explicit gestures. You may not make explicit comments, epithets, slurs, jokes, graphic comments, sexually degrading words, or suggestive or obscene messages. You may not display indecent material, sexual suggestive objects, pictures, cartoons, posters in your car, pornography, indecent photography, video without consent, soliciting a sexual act. All of these things, these are all these new regulations put into these latest terms and conditions. Make sure you understand them. Make sure you follow them, right? Indecent exposure, including riders conducting sexual acts during a trip, mooning, flashing. Geez, like, wow, getting crazy out there. Verbal threat or sexual assault, masturbation. Holy mackerel, they spell it out, don't they? So they go into a lot of details. Again, you got to approve, consent to it before you can continue driving. Under the topic of sexual assault, Uber defines sexual assault as physical or attempted physical conduct that is reported to be sexual in nature and without the consent of the user. Uber defines sexual body parts as the mouth, breast, chest, buttocks, genitalia. All other body parts are considered non-sexual body parts. And they're getting very graphic and into a lot of detail. Acts of sexual assault include attempting touching of a non-sexual body part, attempting kissing of a non-sexual body part, attempting touching of a sexual body part, attempting kissing of a sexual body part, non-consensual touching of a non-sexual body part, non-consensual kissing of a non-sexual body part, attempted non-consensual sexual penetration, non-consensual touching of a sexual body part, non-consensual kissing of a sexual body part, non-consensual sexual penetration. Who on frickin' earth lawyered out all of these phrases? Insane. Uber has a no sex rule. Okay, drivers, make sure you understand that. Make sure you okay with that. Stephen Raver's in the house, new to the house. Welcome, my brother. Hope you, your family are doing well. We welcome you in. And he says, oh, that message was retracted. Please write it again. I didn't retract that message, Stephen. So if you could kindly write it again, I want to read it out for you. I want to welcome you. I didn't retract that message. YouTube must have done that, or you must have done it. David, sounds like that would include a non-consensual handshake. So true. So true. Okay. Operating without proper authority, California regulatory rules and requirements effective December 16th, 2020. And again, let me know if Arizona got this, New Mexico got this, Texas got this, Florida got this, or is it only California? Indeed, Jew says, I'm so glad they put that up. I can't even wear sandals because of perverts. All they need is a glimpse of a toe to get them started. True. I mean, you can have some nutcases like, oh my God, there's a toe, getting all excited. Good one. It's good. And you know, has to be said, right? Especially, let's be honest, more guys hitting on girls than girls hitting on guys. So it builds in some sort of protection mechanisms for a female driver, for a female rider. But it does work both ways. It works both ways. Dan N says, wow, flag football with a Nerf ball, maybe is that permitted? We'll have to check it up in the rules and regulations, Dan. So car safety, in order to comply with the law and to help ensure that users of the Uber platform have a safe experience, always carry your driver's license, your registration, proof of insurance, blah, blah, blah. TNC drivers are required by the California Public Utilities Commission to submit your vehicle for a 19-point inspection. You're expected to maintain your vehicle in safe operating condition, address maintenance issues preventatively, pay extra attention to safety items such as lights, brakes, wipers, tires. Before going online, check your vehicle for damage and verify that it's clean and ready for riders. Check head, tail, and brake lights. Check engine and brake and ABS or airbag lights as well. Road safety training, speeding, they address speeding, right of way, left-hand turns. Wow, they basically taking you through DMV again. You're basically like literally redoing your driver's license. Your distraction, pickup and drop-offs, occupant protection, impaired driving, food safety, preparing to deliver. They go into a lot of detail, how you need to prepare to deliver, the pickup, in transit, drop off, sign off. So that right there is about a 9-page document. Then the second document they send out is the California Anti-Sexual Harassment Policy. That's document number 2. And by the way, I'm going to put all those links to these documents underneath my video so you can read them. My guess is that all states get the equivalent. Hit that thumbs up. Isaac Rico's in the house. Stephen Raver, if you could put that message down for us again. David says, did anyone here buy into the DoorDash IPO? No, I thought the DoorDash one was trash. But Airbnb, yep, got it just in time. It is already up 129%. But DoorDash, I thought DoorDash would be trash. I had no idea that DoorDash IPO would perform in such a manner. But Airbnb is going to be power. It's going to be powerful, powerful stock, especially when the pandemic starts subsiding, and when the pandemic is over, hopefully in 2021. Watch that Airbnb just go up and up and up and up and up. Airbnb is going to be hot, 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 hot. It's Moose says, let me guess, there isn't anything in this documentation that provides for extensive background checks for both the passenger and driver. And it was just driver, 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 driver. It's all about the driver. Who knows what the rider got, right? So California anti-sexual harassment policy, make sure you understand it, read it. For purposes of this policy and related training materials, sexual harassment shall include sexual assault or sexual misconduct in line with California Business and Professional Code 7457A1. Maybe read it. Prohibited conduct under this policy. Again, they go through all the detail. You know, what does sexual misconduct mean? And they break it down in a lot of details, right? I've just read you that whole paragraph there. They send you a whole second document just on sexual harassment. Then the third document that they send out, California Addendum. This one is only 3 pages. It says you entered into a platform access agreement, the PAA, by and among you and your company, business, you and Uber Technologies. Blah, 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 blah. Capitalized terms used herein but not defined shall have the meanings ascribed to them in the PAAs. Driver independence, driver rest. So they go talk a lot about driver rest and driver independence. Make sure you understand exactly what's going on there. Consistent with California Business and Professional Code 7451, unilaterally prescribe specific dates, times of day, a minimum number of hours during which you must be logged into your driver app or platform, require you to accept any specific rideshare service for hire service or delivery service request as a condition of maintaining access to your driver app. Wow. Restrict you from performing rideshare services for hire services or delivery services through other network companies except during engaged time. Restrict you from working in any other unlawful occupational business. Wow, they're really tightening it up, aren't they? Number 2, earnings guarantee and healthcare subsidy. That's basically with all these changes. Now that they got the Proposition 22, now that they won that, now they're hitting you with all of this legal language. Healthcare subsidy, termination and account deactivation. I think that's a big one. Number 3, make sure you read that. You consent to, and we may temporarily deactivate your accounts without notice. Ooh, I need to take a picture of that, because Uber in my lawsuit said I can't have multiple accounts. Here they clearly use the legal term termination. They say you consent to, and we may temporarily deactivate your account or accounts. Wow. So if I refer to their new terms and conditions, page 1.3, hang on Uber, you stated that I'm not allowed to have multiple accounts. You basically just said here, you consent to, and we may temporarily deactivate your account or accounts without notice to investigate whether you have engaged in or your account has been used in activity that is deceptive, fraudulent, unsafe, illegal, harmful to our brand, business, or reputation, or that violates the PAA, as well as the following policies incorporated herein by reference as amended from time to time. Make sure you understand and read that. What about AB5? Well, Proposition 22 is above AB5, so they don't have to abide by AB5 anymore, period. And they don't, and they don't, and they won't. Come January, it's like, bye-bye AB5, we won Prop 22, we get to set the new laws. The public voted for that. Cat J. Rideshare says, almost signed up for Trip Delivers, but someone sent me your video. Oh, God, please don't hand the money over. I'll tell you something about Trip. Over 36 months now, for 38 months, people have been signing up. Court on record, Bob McNulty's son stating, after 6 months, they cannot get their money back. We have their money. Good luck doing a chargeback on their credit card because we don't have to pay them back. From the director's son, caught on video in a recording. That'll tell you everything about Trip you need to know. You don't even have to know more than that, right? I paid $149 to Trip because I wanted to get into the back end, take all the information out, which I did. I did not get the $149 back because after, I think, a year, I said, when are you launching? When are you launching? When are you launching? Try to initiate a chargeback, didn't get my $149. So I'm very, very glad that you did not hand your money over to Trip, right? If you look at Bob McNulty's history, it's a history of fraud. He has had fines, run-ins with the SEC. He starts companies, collects, starts companies, collects, starts companies, collects. He's been doing this for 20 years. He is a major, major con artist hiding out in Newport Beach. His son is the equivalent, hiding out in Santa Monica. I know where both people live, right? I have no time for these fraudsters, and I hope I don't see them on the street. I really don't, right? Because it could get very, very ugly. Stephen says, wondering if there is more insurance to get other than rideshare insurance. So here it is, Stephen. When you listen to Brian Greening, and I have the most respect for the guy. He says you go out, you don't just get a regular insurance, you get a rideshare insurance, but you have to talk with your insurance provider, whether it's State Farm, whether it's Mercury, whether it's Geico, and say, I want full coverage rideshare insurance. The words are, I want full coverage. So even if you are on a trip, you have riders in your car, you get slammed by some other car, you're covered, right? If you do not have this full coverage rideshare insurance and you have riders on board and you're without that full coverage, they will not pay out. And Lyft only kicks in, they have a deductible of $2,500. So if you have $1,500 of damages, those $1,500 come out of your pocket. Make sure the verbiage has to be written in that you have full coverage. Okay, you may, Stephen, get that in writing. You may be with a rideshare insurance that automatically gives you full coverage. And if you wouldn't mind stating the name of that company, and maybe other people can call them up and say, hey, hang on, you have one policy, you have one rideshare insurance policy. I hear it's full coverage. Is that true? Does that even cover eventualities if someone is driving with me in the car as a passenger, as a rider? Is that true? Get that in writing. Otherwise, keep on shopping, right? Yes, Uber Connect is for deliveries, and then the other one I would kindly ask you to check out is Curial.com, right? They are pushing out their app this week or at the end of the week, Curial.com. So make sure you sign up with them. Don Whitmer says Allstate is great for rideshare. Thank you. Okay, you mentioned it there. Don says Allstate. Gives them thumbs up. I'm guessing you give them 2 thumbs up, right? Which means maybe you've had an incident with them and they've been completely cooperative. They paid you out, no hassles. You pay them, they take care of if something happens. So it's good to hear from a driver if you've had a positive experience with an insurance provider. So he vouches for Allstate. Tony Slaughter vouches for USAA. That's good. That's good feedback, right? And again, make sure you have the rideshare insurance, full coverage. So those are those 3 documents: the California Regulatory Rules and Requirements Training, 9 pages, California Anti-Sexual Harassment Policy, 6 pages, and 3 pages of the California Addendum. Make sure you read them. Make sure you read and understand what that's all about. Dan says, I signed up for everything, animals, pets, preferably in carriers and deliveries. Cool. So you covered. You have all corners covered. You got the critters covered, the dogs, the cats, the humans, the riders. You are good to go, right? Let's see. So we covered that. That's awesome. Little bit of news, if it means anything. Self-driving cars have a long way to go. I get asked again and again, hey, are you worried about self-driving cars or self-driving cars around the corner? This article, very, very short and sweet. They talk about Cruise. You guys should know about Cruise by now. Cruise this week touted its first fully driverless vehicle tests in San Francisco, 2 days after Uber sold its autonomous vehicle unit to Arrival. Why it matters, neither development was quite what it seemed, however, reminding us that self-driving cars are still a long way from commercialization. So if that doubt's in your mind, if that fear's in your mind that, oh my God, I'm going to be replaced by these driverless cars, autonomous cars very soon, relax. You're good. You're fine. Don't worry about that right now. Just worry about your income, worry about your vehicle, worry about paying off your vehicle. Dustin is gaming. I like that. Is that the new channel? USAA rocks. I got rideshare endorsement also. Fantastic. So is it Dustin is driving and Dustin is gaming, right? Help me out here. You got the two channels going? That's fantastic. So if you have not subscribed to, I'm 99% sure you are subscribed to Dustin is Driving, and now you make 100% sure you subscribe to his new channel. Congratulations. Fantastic. So give him that subscriptions. I tell you, any YouTuber loves it when you bump up the subscribers, right? It sort of helps you in many ways. Dustin, I'm sure you would agree with me. Why do subscribers really help us? Well, a sponsor, an advertiser who pays Dustin says, wow, Dustin has X amount of subscribers in his driving channel. Cool. I want to advertise with him. Any person with gaming equipment, consoles, that wants to send him gaming equipment for review for his new channel will say, how many subscribers does Dustin is Gaming have? So help him subscribe right now. We all subscribe to Dustin is Driving. Now you subscribe to Dustin is Gaming. That's his gaming channel. I've checked out a couple of his videos. I really, really like it. And help him bump up those subscribers. It helps YouTubers tremendously. Aura Ramirez says, thank you for the insurance information. Thank you for asking, and you're welcome. We want everyone covered. And there was good feedback. Dustin says that the USAA rocks. I got rideshare endorsement also. That's fantastic. Tony Slaughter says, I want to create a vlog about my experience learning to fly. That's fantastic. Do it. I mean, you could make these short little videos, right? Are you doing your pilot license? Walk people that are interested in becoming a pilot just through the initial experiences. What did you need to do? What documentation did you need to apply for? What licenses did you need to get? How much does it cost? How many hours do you have to put in? Show them ways how to expedite. Show them ways how to make this an enjoyable experience, learning how to fly. Fantastic channel. I'm sure you'll get many, 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 many subscribers, and allow us to help you. Allow us to give you a shout out of that new channel that you create. I want to, because it looks like a fun experience. Definitely does. So yeah, go in that direction. I applaud you. Just do it. Nike, just do it. Driving the news. Cruise, the self-driving tech firm backed by General Motors and Honda, shared video of its first tests with no one behind the wheel. Oof, I don't want to see that. No one behind the wheel. What we're witnessing here is the move of real self-driving out of the R&D lab and onto the path to being a commercial product that everyone can use. Cruise CEO Dan Ammon told reporters. Reality check. The feature test occurred at night in a quiet residential neighborhood with no other cars on the road except those parked along the side of the street. That's when they were testing it, right? An operator in the passenger seat held a kill switch but had no access to the traditional driver controls, a Cruise spokesman tells Axios. Aman said the driverless testing would start small and expand to more cars in more neighborhoods in 2020. Just keep a lookout for those Cruise vehicles. Stay far away from them. This is still in their experimental phase, in their testing phase. I don't want to be around a Cruise vehicle right now, I can tell you that. Earlier in the week, Uber said it was handing its self-driving project to Aurora and would invest $400 million in the Silicon Valley startup after sinking hundreds of millions of dollars into the AV unit, which had been plagued with safety and legal problems from the start. Uber is essentially paying Aurora to take over the project. By partnering with Aurora and taking a stake in the company, Uber is keeping some chips on the table for future robotaxi services. However, Aurora's current focus is on self-driving trucks. All right. Who to watch out for? Zoox and Canoe, that's a tip here, are going to reveal new self-driving vehicles this week. I already made a video on the Zoox one, which they presented at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco. So self-driving cars, just chill out, everyone. Long way to go. Another little bit of tech news there from TechCrunch. They talk about QuantumScape. That's a good one. Dustin, check into QuantumScape. Apparently that's a hot stock. QuantumScape. Maybe Dustin could give us some feedback on that QuantumScape. Then, let's see here, notable. There was some interesting stuff on driverless cars. I want to get that. The writers, there's a few other deals got my attention. Boston Dynamics confirmed that Hyundai has acquired a controlling interest in the company. The deal, which values Boston Dynamics at $1.1 billion, gives Hyundai Motor Corporation an 80% stake, with SoftBank controlling the remaining 20%. SoftBank seems to have their hands in everything. The transaction marks the spot maker's third change of hands in a mere 7 years. In and Motion, a French startup, developed wearable airbag systems for motorbikes. Motive Power Systems, the electric vehicle chassis maker, looking to merge with a special purpose acquisition company. I'm just reading these out because these are stocks that could potentially fly. Parallel Domain, which developed a synthetic data generation platform to train autonomous systems, raised an $11 million in a Series A round. Could be an interesting one. Volkswagen Group invested 1 billion euros. That's $1.21 billion. Thanks, Dan. Super kind of you. All right, I will leave all of these links, everything that I've literally discussed today, talked about 5 or 6 topics. I do want to give, I got to do this, got to give a quick shout out to my sponsor here at $7 a month. It's a gig protection plan, 24/7 health service, automatic mileage tracking, pay time off, sick leave, legal protection. What is the legal protection? Legal protection in case you get wrongfully terminated, in case you get deactivated by one of the platforms. They have a legal arm called Legal Rideshare. We had Brian Greening talking about insurance early on in one of the other videos. He was interviewed by a TV reporter saying that you have to have full coverage and it's got to be rideshare insurance with full coverage. Remember, that's the same guy from the same company. They send out the legal letters in case you get wrongfully terminated. They're a great go-to company if you want them to handle the entire insurance claim process for you, right? So I want to jump back into the room here. Steven says State Farm is my provider. State Farm is a little bit expensive, but they are very, very good. I've met the guys from State Farm. They have a great package. Aurora says, hey, you mentioned earlier about more platforms. I'm only on one. Could you share the rest? Sure. I mean, the rest are pretty simple, right? If we look at this video, let's look at some of the platforms that are out there, right? So you should be maybe signed up on Grubhub. on Instacart, on DoorDash, on Lyft, on Uber. Amazon Flex is very lucrative right now. I get really large batches over Christmas time. The driver that I spoke to yesterday that dropped off some packages at our house, Amazon driver, said he was doing a 10-hour shift and 330 packages. And I said, 330 packages, how do you do that? He said, well, they're so close. It's like boom, 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 boom. On the one road, drop off, drop off, drop off. I mean, literally, they have such a science behind this. When these Amazon drivers get a batch allocated to them, and again, I'm not speaking as an expert here because I don't do any Amazon Flex deliveries, rather hear it from pros. But the way it apparently works is you get a batch, might be a 3-hour shift, a 5-hour shift, a 10-hour shift. Obviously, over Christmas time, you're going to get long, long, long shifts because there's so many deliveries taking place. Guys actually delivering 330 plus packages in a 10-hour shift. Holy moly, 330 packages. I'm like, you serious? He showed me 330 packages. He said, I'm going to be driving for 10 hours today. I'm going to make good money. He's driving one of these little Amazon trucks around, right? Does Uber Pet involve uncleaned animal cages? Couldn't believe I had to make a dirty animal cage fit in my car. It is disgusting, right? What you obviously know what it means to create a clean environment, a pristine, non-stinking environment in your car, and along comes, let's say, a person where you're driving for Uber Pet, you've agreed to that, they have a cat cage, let's say, full of cat shit or cat dog shit, right? And then suddenly your whole car just is stenched out with this horrible urine shit smell. Disgusting. For them, maybe not as the owner, right? They're used to that. But you having a clean car, suddenly you got this animal cage in there and are transporting a dog or a cat. So, pros and cons, my friends. Yeah, you're going to make a couple of extra bucks with Uber Pet, but is it worth it? Right? Is it worth it? I mean, is that one experience maybe going to make the next 3 or 4 riders experience negative? It's like, what on earth is that smell in your car? Did a cat piss in your car? Did a dog throw up in your car? What is that smell? Right? So is it worth it? I mean, I didn't sign up for that, so I would not know. Have I transported pets? Yes, I have. I do transport pets for private individuals, whether it's to the vet. Once I had to take 2 Labradors from Santa Monica to Vegas to get onto a special flight. Guy paid me $1,200. $1,200 and paid for my weekend in Vegas, right? And then I drove back. $1,200 just to deliver 2 Labradors, right? Paid additionally for the cleaning fees, everything. So just let me know what your cleaning fees are, blah, 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 blah. Then I put a little barrier in the back, put the dogs at space to move, I had water, food, and then boom, I shot up from Santa Monica, picked them up at a hotel on number 1 Wilshire, took them up to, they had to be delivered at the hotel, I think it's the ARA, what it's called? ARA or something like that, ARA Hotel. And then the person took them over to the Learjet. So $1,200, sure, I'll deliver your two Labradoodles for $1,200 all day long, my friend. 20 years as a taxi driver. If taking pets, etc., you need to be prepared. Seat or floor covers, huge commercial construction, plastic bags, etc. Must. Smart. So, have that stuff stashed away, because God forbid the moment comes and, commercial plastic bags. That's huge. You fold them out. In case the dog shits or pisses, there it is. It doesn't go into your carpet. So good one on that. Lorenzo Davis says, Allstate insures me on rideshare insurance. Fantastic. Sherelle's in the house, just stopping in. Got a private ride to LAX, leaving soon. You love those private trips. I had a great private trip. When was it? On Saturday night. Yeah, I picked up an actress who flew in from Toronto. She had 8 bags. Had to literally fold my 2 seats down, and all of the back was just huge suitcases and bags. That was with my 1 broken foot. Still managed to get all of those bags in, but I got a fantastic price. Got a And even the movie studio called me afterwards and said, "Thank you so much. We didn't realize that we had to bombard you with all of this extra luggage. You made it happen. Thank you. And here's an extra." Boom! Another extra $150 on top of. So that was cool. Got paid well there. Leather seats are the best, easiest, and fastest to clean. No doubt about it, right? The difference between vinyl, leather, I mean, pretty much the same thing, and then cloth. Cloth, it's going in. Cloth, it's staying inside there. Vinyl leather, it sort of sits on the surface. You can clean it off. Much easier to clean. Again, I hear this a lot in the news, but Uber pushing for drivers to be the first in line to get that COVID-19 vaccine, right? Uber says, let drivers get priority in line for COVID-19 vaccine. Now, I made a video about this. In all honesty, I pushed that video out in all the Facebook channels, right? In various Facebook channels, I put that video out, and I'm like, I get the feedback, right? So I get these messages, Facebook messages. I will tell you that 90%, without lies, 90% were not happy about this. 90% of the responses were not happy about the fact that Dara Khosrowshahi said, let them be first in line. And what's interesting, here's what's interesting. Did you guys know that the Pfizer CEO won't even take the vaccine? Dude, you're developing the vaccine. You should be the one setting an example. But no, he's not taking the vaccine. That to me speaks volumes. And here's Dara says, no, the Uber drivers should be first in line. You know why? So we can keep on making money. This is the most selfish thinking here, right? Not the riders, not talking about the riders or passengers. Make sure that our drivers get it so we can keep on making money. You know, this, my friends, speaks volumes. This speaks volumes. If the CEO of Uber wants you to be the lab rat, wants you to be the guinea pig first, it speaks volumes that the Pfizer CEO hasn't even taken the vaccine. I'm not making this shit up. I think I read it on one of the news outlets. I think I actually read it on I think it, I want to say it was on let's see. I think it is there. That to me seemed rather worrisome, that the Pfizer CEO had not even taken the vaccine. Where is this news? I want to listen to that. Pfizer CEO explains why he hasn't received a vaccine yet. You serious, dude? You developed this and you haven't taken this? The first thing you do is, this is the vaccine we created. I stand behind it. Look, I'm injecting it into my arm right now. But now he goes on a lengthy explanation why the Pfizer CEO hasn't taken it. Doesn't build much trust, my friends. That doesn't build much trust. Otley Holmes is in the house. He says they say side effects are headaches and fever. Okay. All right. That's initially. AZ is a hot zone. Okay, so if it's fevers and headaches, okay, take it. I want this guy to take it first, right? I want this dude here. Why is he giving an explanation why he hasn't taken the vaccine yet? You're in that factory, dude. You're the Pfizer CEO. Send a message to the world. Hey, I stand behind my product. Here it is. No, instead he goes,
no, I haven't taken it yet. And we are having an ethical committee dealing with the question of who is getting it. And given that there are very strict allocation rules that the CDC has voted, we are very sensitive not to cut the queue and have people getting vaccinated before. So still, I think this committee recommends that I will get vaccinated because polls that we have seen said that people will believe much more on this vaccine if the CEO is getting vaccinated.
Yeah, thank you.
So
thank you.
likely I will get it.
That's it. Don't talk.
Let me ask you about the amount of vaccine available, because as you were just listening, I'm sure it's been a source of a little bit of confusion. When we last spoke, and again, this was after the first data came out a few weeks ago, you told me there was around 6.4 million doses that were going to be available at the time shots first started getting administered. Is that still the case? And how quickly can you manufacture this vaccine? Do you think about this on a per week scale, per day scale? Give us some context here.
Yeah, it is true. And actually, this year we will have around 50 million doses available, but most of them have already been manufactured. So the doses are there available. Next year, we will do 1.3 billion doses.
1.3 billion doses. I asked you, Mr. Pfizer CEO, please take the shot for us so we know, so we can start believing in you and your company and your product, that vaccine. I really, really request that Uber CEO injects that juice into his hand, into his arm first. Sounds like an officer I had in the infantry, US Army and Jungle Warfare School, told me to go out into the jungle at night by myself. Yeah, right. Those are the guys. You go and do it. You go and be the guinea pig. Would they do it themselves? Hey, come join me on that night excursion. No, can't. Good. Well, he's relieved from his command. That's cool. Stephen Paver says there was no animal in the cage, just the cage. Okay. Just wondering where the lion falls. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. You had opened yourself up for Uber Pet, I guess. You had said, okay, I will accept Uber Pet trips. And I would argue, under the true definition of the law, the person doesn't have a pet, just has a pet cage. I mean, could you deny them if that cage was just covered in crap or feces or I mean, could you deny them? Good argument, right? You could probably deny them. But if they have, the license to show that they're allowed to have an animal, maybe he could say, oh, well, I'm on my way to pick up the animal, so I got to go and take this cage and then pick up the animal. And then I'm sure he or she would be in the right. So, Nifty 50 says, can't wait to jab it to get over with this horror. It Smooth says, when Dara K didn't get his way with CDC, he then wrote to all 50 governors requesting that the drivers be considered essential. Yes, I read that. When he didn't quite, what is that smell?
Not sure.
Lord. So yeah, I sent the books off. I hope they enjoy their Christmas present. I doubt they'll even open or read it, but it's just pretty much a message to them. Get your act together. All right, we're on 1 hour, 10 minutes. I'm going to be heading down to Long Beach. I think I'm going to do another feed from my car on the Rideshare Driving School channel. But I believe that'll wrap it up today on Our House Mondays. Thank you, Dan. So much for the contribution. I appreciate you. And you and I have to do another feed. I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about. A lot. Do me a huge favor, everyone. If you're just on one or two platforms, just make sure, it doesn't even mean that you have to drive on them or deliver on them. Just make sure that you started all those processes and get approved on 5 or 6 or 7 platforms, just in case. I'm just saying, just in case, right? As you can see, they've already tightened up these rules so much, right? These new terms and conditions, maybe making it even more difficult for you to get on the road. So you don't know. You might not qualify under their new terms, especially if you're a TCP driver. There's all TCP or TCN. They have all these new regulations built in. This was a California mess. These 3 links, by the way, these 3 links I will leave under the video. Safe travels, everyone. Hey, have a great week. Happy Monday, everyone. Sanitize your cars. Make sure we keep these things going, right? Have a couple of extra ones on board. You might be able to sell them to a rider. 3 people get into the car. One doesn't have. Oh, I forgot it. Oh, by the way, you can buy them here, $5, right? Make sure you have those. And yeah, I mean, all of that, correct, Tony Slaughter, all of this stuff came out now that they don't have to follow AB5. So these are the new terms and conditions, right? They're gearing up for January. Perfect timing. They say this will kick into effect on December the 16th, 2020, in 2 days' time. And probably come January, they switch the apps. There's a whole new app, whole new earnings system in California. And then guess what? 2021, they will be targeting those other states, because if they got away with this in California, they are going to try this blanket approach across the nation. So this is coming your way. This type of verbiage, these type of new regulations, terms, conditions, it's coming your way. Thank you, everyone. Go out there, make some money now. Have a great day. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. Keep your kids safe. Hopefully got all your Christmas shopping in. Beep, beep. And Santa, where's that letter? Just give me that letter there of Danny. Check this out. So this is the little one. What does she do? She, I'm gonna block out the address, but she writes Santa a message. She said, I want to write Santa a card so you can bring me these different presents. Like, what is Santa's address? I said, well, it's just write to the North Pole. So he writes the North Pole. Very cute, right? When kids still believe in Santa. That's a good thing. Later on, they change, they become jaded, they learn all the bad tricks, and they stop believing in Santa Claus. They stop believing in the Tooth Fairy, and they stop believing in the Easter Bunny. But my guess is age 12 or age 13, nah, Santa doesn't exist. Nah, Easter Bunny is a hoax. But if they believe in it, let them believe in it. Still shows their innocence, just shows how cool the world is. Actually write Santa letter to the North Pole. Hey, bring me my presents. Tony Slaughter says we all need something to believe in, especially now. Maybe we should all write to Santa. Santa, bring us something. Not just a whole bag of pandemic coal, right? Santa, bring us some good news in 2021. Not a whole bunch of pandemic coal. It's really good if you have something to believe in. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It was awesome. Thank you for all your feedback. And please stay safe. And by the way, I'm going to leave these links beneath. Maybe the other states, even Vegas, the other states, the other drivers out of California would want to read this and see sort of what's maybe's coming their way in 2021. Right? Amen. God bless you all. Drive safe. And I will be back soon. I love you all. Thank you so, so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.